erupts with exchanges of bricks, tear gas and bullets. Across the country, disgruntled residents demand immediate housing. They say elected officials have done nothing but enrich themselves.
I've never expected that we will be fighting for something that we've been promised.
We have said we would want to eradicate informal settlements by the year 2014. Municipalities have been given much more power to prevent the emergence of new slums.
I would like to meet Dr. Nelson Mandela and ask him, how does he feel? What he has been jailed for has never been achieved.
They were going to each and everyone's house, carrying bush knives, carrying guns.
They've demolished a lot of shacks, and now they're threatening to demolish mine.
Nobody is thrown out. Everything we've done is within the Constitution.
No one may be evicted from their home without an order of court. This thing is unconstitutional.
Watch out! Being poor in life doesn't mean that you are even poor in mind. So that's why we must rise up now and take action now.
Viva the spirit of togetherness! Viva!
The Shack Dwellers Action Group is challenging provincial authorities in the Constitutional Court.
You don't need to be old to be wise. That is why we think we need to show our character while we are still young.
Very powerful. Well done, and welcome to the studio.
Thanks so much for having me.
It's quite ironic, however, running a story like this and having a look at footage like this when in the news today all we've been talking about is service delivery protests, people wanting more education, housing, sanitation, electricity, and here you are highlighting exactly that in a documentary such as this. What was it like working on something like this? Let's begin with you. Directing it?
Yeah, sure. We both directed, edited, filmed. You know, it was a real small crew and very, very intimate. And we really wanted to understand what the lives of our characters were like day to day. And so we spent a lot of time with them, sometimes without the camera, just getting to know them, getting to understand what life is like in an informal settlement. And I think what we came out with was an understanding that what they really need is basic human dignity. That's what's lacking in the shacks, and we need the government to make good on its promises to provide basic services and basic human dignity to the residents.
Yeah, spending time with them, what was it like for you? I mean, do you live in South Africa, or are you from the States?
Well, I was born and raised in New York, and I spend most of my time in New York. But making the film, over 4 years, I spent most of my time here in South Africa.
Yeah.
So in Durban, it was an amazing experience for me because, you know, though there is poverty in New York and in the United States, it's not on the scale and depth that we see in some of the informal settlements and townships here. So it was an incredible experience for me, and the generosity and the wonderfulness of people that we met was just something that I'll always remember.
Take us back to the beginning. Why this group of individuals? Why did you decide to do a documentary on them?
Well, when we first heard about the Abaklali Basmujondolo movement in 2007, what struck us immediately was that they were articulating something very new. It wasn't about service delivery protests only, but it was really about a larger vision of what society could be like, a society where basic needs are taken care of and where everyone is treated with respect and dignity. And one of the first things that I learned about was this idea of meaningful engagement, that when government makes decisions to build houses or to provide services for shack dwellers, that they need to engage and really respect the people who are living there, and that democracy is not about voting every few years, but it's really about everyday people who are most affected by the decisions being part of that decision-making process.
So what's the message in the documentary? What are you hoping to give the world and to give South Africans by showing a documentary like this?
Well, we were very interested in focusing on young people. We don't see that many films about the young people in South Africa or in any country, and that we see things happening around the world and Cairo and New York and many other places where young people are rising up. We just hope that the story of the young people in South Africa trying to take some agency in the direction of their country and where it's going, we'd like that to be, you know, something that we could spread as we bring this film around.
Yeah. Is it positive? I know you're showcasing a negative story in terms of what they're having, but is the story overall positive? I mean, the picture of South Africa that's coming out here, what did you feel about it at the end of filming the documentary?
At the end of filming, I felt incredibly inspired by the people who are in the film. The members of acclaim, especially the young people, have committed themselves to a lifetime of working for a better South Africa. Yeah. And I think that's something that we all can aspire to. They're incredibly courageous. They've made tremendous sacrifices to work for more taps in an informal settlement, or building community gardens, or studying together and really coming together to build strong communities. And that's the message that I hope people
and living the life with basic human rights.
Absolutely.
I mean, that's really what it's all about.
Yeah.
You had a big screening yesterday or last night at Wits University. What was it like? Because I imagine it was packed with students watching a documentary. What was the feedback like, the reaction to the documentary?
We had a packed room last night at Wits, and we were really excited to see the way the film was received. It was the first time we had played the film in Johannesburg. We played it in Durban at the Durban International Film Festival last year, and we were very happy to bring it to Joburg. And in that university setting, mostly young people, very good reaction to the film. People stood up and clapping because we had some of the main characters here from Durban present. And it was a really great discussion that we had afterwards, and we see this as being the beginning of a long tour of screenings around South Africa.
Fantastic. Is there a website or something?
Yes.
What is the website?
The website's dearmandela.com.
Okay.
And there we post information about all the screenings, as well as information about how people can host their own screenings. We really hope that people will contact us and show the film in their churches, in their schools, in their community halls.
It's dearmandela.com.
Yeah.
Visit the website. Otherwise, screenings for the documentary will be taking place on Friday. That's the 23rd of March at 5 till 5:30 at the Steve Biko, no, 5:30, not at 5:30. So it begins at 5:30, but get there at 5 at the Steve Biko Lecture Theatre at the Nelson Mandela School of Medicine at the University of KwaZulu-Natal. That's just one of the screenings, but please visit the website for more details. Thank you. Well done. It's been a pleasure having you on the show. Dara, Kell and Christopher Nizza both directing this documentary about Mandela and, of course, I suppose the life of South Africans fighting for a better future. Let's